folks, and welcome to episode 32 of Vinyl Reveals. Good to have you along. Hope you are well. There we go, episode 32. That intro was Crime of Passing, a band called Crime of Passing out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Young band, this is their first album. Check it out, they've just brought it out. That song was called Tender Fixation. So check it, self-titled debut album, Crime of Passing. Really good, fantastic band. Shades of Joy Division a little bit. Fun thing. Episode 32. Snapped ankles. My much better half, Sharon Boland, has named this ankle Snapped Ankles because I twisted my ankle, basically near enough snapped the bloody thing, about a month ago. I'm still trying to recover. But it was right before a gig as well, which isn't great. But it was a good excuse to get pissed, to numb the pain. And I got through the gig, great gig, wedding present. In Birmingham, which was good. So, but careful if you've got weak ankles when you're stepping off curbs and things like that. Easily done. Never mind, that's the medical section of the episode. Vinyl Reveals out of the way. So, episode 32, Snapped Ankles. Let's get on with it. It's been a wait, but here we are. His master's voice come through in the clutch. Went to the local record shop. Didn't have it. So, I thought I'll pop by HMV while I was up there, and lo and behold, they had a couple of copies. So, there you go. So, always worth checking out, and they're a decent price too. Now, I've already took the cellophane off this, so sorry about that. There's a slight mistake. It's not. I won't go into it. Anyway, here we go. This is my first look at it. Anyway, so it's Loop, and it's a band from the late '80s. Loop originally. This is their first studio album in 31 years. Robert, the guy's name Robert Hampson, who's been the driving force behind Loop for all these years, finally got his act together. Finally got some members together and brought out another album. They've previously had 3 previous albums, which I'll delve into in a little bit. So there we go. Loop, might recognise that logo. Quite a distinctive logo the band have had since the year dot, seemingly. Kind of sums up their music perfectly. Sort of trance rock, no wave, kind of krautrock influence sound. A little bit. Yeah, a little bit shoegazy in place, I suppose. But yeah, quite a sound all of their own, really. Quite nice. The album's called Sonancy. And there's the cover. It reminds me of like paraffin, burning paraffin for some reason. I burnt a lot of paraffin when I was a kid, but that smells very pungent, and that's chemistry sets I used to get. We managed not to burn the house down, but that kind of reminds me of that, a piece of art or photograph, whatever that is. Quite sure if there's a face in there or not. Maybe I'm trying to see something isn't there, but it's quite nice, interesting, provoking, thought-provoking stuff. And then we've got a band of blue on the back, which nicely picks out the track listing. There they are, and a lot of them seem to be words I've never heard of or things. You have to bear with me on the pronunciation of this. We have Interference, followed by Aeolian, Supra, Penumbra 1, which is instrumental, Isochrome, Halo, Fermion, which is a great song, Penumbra 2, another instrumental, so nice little breaks in there throughout the album, Axion, and Aurora finished off. This album came out on March the 25th, 2022 through Reactor and Cooking Vinyl Records. Cooking Vinyl, record label, I know well from the mid-90s with the wedding present. It's 42 minutes and 38 seconds long, so you get a lot of bang for your £20.99 I think I paid for this. So you get a little bang for your buck. 2 singles off there at the moment, Fermion, which is a great song, and Halo. That's that little bit dealt with previously. Their first album was called Heaven's End in '88, Fade Out in 1989, and the last one before this was A Guided Entity, in 1990. There's had a lot of different members throughout the history of the band, but currently now there's Hugo Morgan on bass, Dan Boyd guitars, Wayne Maskey on drums, and Robert Hampson, the driving force throughout, is the lead. As I say, psych, fuzzy, echoing, hard driving, unapologetic in this album. It's got 3 chords, rhythmic drumming, and it's very consistent, which is nice in a way. Not something I normally gravitate to, but anyway, let's get into it. I'll talk you through that. Nice uncoated stock cover. Let's get inside. Got actually a coated, which isn't quite so cool, but got a nice piece of art there, or photograph there. It almost looks like ice in a glass, or on a glacier, or can't see what's there. Might be missing something here. Quite nice. artistic. This is art after all. Sonancy, and then another little logo there like an eye. It's cool. Again, the track listing, produced by Robert Hampson, recorded and mixed at Joe's Garage by Joe Garcia and Robert Hampson, engineered by Joe Garcia, nice compact stuff there, mastered by Nick Cook and cut by Barry Grint. The art direction on this is by Frank Booth, images by Greer Gray, so well done there, and it's mixed by Bex at Hi-Hat. Some thanks there, nice thanks at the end there, extra endless thanks to Simon Keeler. This is here because of you, and that will never be forgotten. So that's a really nice shout out to Simon Keeler there, who obviously had some influence on this record. Let's get inside and see what we've got. Okay, we've got a smoky effect vinyl, semi-transparent I'd call that, which is nice. It's a nice look. I don't know anything quite like that in my collection, I don't believe. The inner disc there looks like this kind of surface of Mars or something actually, or the moon. And a lander coming into land. It's got a very intergalactic feel about the whole of this sound of this album anyway. Track listing on there, which is nice. Etched into the runoff there on side 1 we have Reactor, is this side 1? Yeah. Reactor A, and then we got The Wizard. And etched in on the other side is Almighty, and then a number after it. So Wizard Almighty. Fair enough. That's nice. I like it. The inner disc don't line up, which is a shame. Always look out for that. And let's get it weighed. Let's just pile on the pounds. Let's see what we've got here. Let's stay out of the sauna room and let's hope for the best. Let's see what we've got on the scales. We've got 140 grams there, which is nice. Middle of the weight, really. I get to experience. No, only about 140. It's really nice. Looks good. I shall enjoy popping that on the turntable in a little while for you, for myself. So let's get into it. Sonancy, as I say, first album in some years, so I'm not overly familiar with their older stuff, to be honest. Not something I particularly gravitate to, this sound particularly, but nice to have new sounds and experience new things and get some light and dark in your record collection. I feel like, not just stick on one thing. Really cool. So I'm glad I've got it. As I said, Interference is the first one. They've got this introduction which is really nice. It's almost like it's being thrown yourself into a wind chime, and it's got that sound when you blow on top of a milk bottle. When you blow, where's my milk bottle? It's got that sound going on anyway. Some nice lyrics in there. Cloak of deceit has fallen away. I thought that was a nice line. The echoes are quite the vocals are quite echoey and back in the mix on this album all the way through. A lot of effects on the vocals, but not always that keen of sometimes. But it's very consistent, and you get what it says on the tin with this album essentially. Some layered drums interjecting in the middle, and some metronomic constant throughout this whole of this album. And the first, if you don't like the first song, you ain't gonna like this album basically, because it's kind of sets the groundwork for it. There's number 3, Supra, a decent of some crashing waves, a bit Andy Bell-esque I thought this. Above and Beyond the Limits is a lyric that goes on. It's a bit anthemic throughout this one, which is quite nice. Tribal drumming is in trippy again, and that kind of leaves it. We got an interjection there of the instrumental Penumbra number 1, which is nice. It's like approaching a black hole, best engulfed by a black hole. That's what this song gave me, that feeling. Isochrome, 6:15 of this. There's a gong in there, some crickets, there's a distant tick. There's a bass outro which is really cool. It's got an apocalypse, futuristic apocalypse now type of feel to it. That's not apocalypse now. I know what that is. They've got Halo number 6, scratchy intro, hurtles into it. 48 is the first real rock riff you get. You know, your first sense that there's a bit of rock behind this. But then it's gone in an instant, and there's a rapid assault at 3:49. Just to let you know that, catch it yourself. Halo number 6. Onto their best song on the album, potentially, Fermion. Nice lyric in here. Which way to go? The ebb and flow. Only your eyes can sense the light. Really like that. It's like sending an Exocet missile to land on the moon instead of a spaceship. Okay, at 2:30, some crazy stereo left and right channels going on. When you listen to this through your earphones, it's really good. It sort of batters the centres a little bit, so check that one out. Really good song, Fermion. instrumental again there. Voices from a Lost World. Just kind of cleanses the palette again before we get into Orchestra of Hell, I've put. So when you descend into hell, which you all will, some of you won't, that might be your soundtrack. Number 9, Axiom, probably the best throwaway track on the album, to be honest, not the greatest track. But that leads us on to Aurora, which is probably the second best track on here. I thought the last one, chiming, it takes it down a level, kind of gives you a little bit of sense of something else. It feels like the end a little bit. Haunting vocal, there's a buzzsaw, electric guitar in there, really strong bassy end as well, so really great. And a very consistent album. Lose yourself in this one a little bit, you know what I mean? Switch off, chill out, you just let it drift over you and take yourself into interstellar space. Really like it. Good album. Well done to Luke, well done to Robert and boys and girls. Well, boys, sorry. I'm producing a great album. There we go. Loop, Sonancy. Check it out. See what they're all about. Or refresh your memory if you used to be heard of them back in the day. I should pop in on a record player over here. Doing enough to get up. You might see a bad side of me. Don't take that. Don't be offended by that. And enjoy the rest of your weekend, or if you're not the weekend, watch it another day. Thanks for tuning in. See you again for episode 33 very soon. And this is Loop with their opening track, which was Interference. So take care. Enjoy.